Hey everybody, in today's episode, we're talking about how my afro is literally saving my life. I know you're probably thinking, what does your hair have to do with any of this? Well, you gotta keep listening to find out.
This is Fit Fashow. This is Fit Fashow. We're going to give you all the information you need to live a mentally fit, spiritually fit, and physically fit life. Let's do it. This is Fit Fashow. And here's your host, Amber.
Thanks for sticking with me. It's your girl, Amber, and I am the host of Fit Fashow. And my goal is to make sure you have all the information you need to live a good and healthy life. Now, before we jump into today's juicy topic, I want to make sure that you are aware of a few housekeeping tips. This particular podcast is available on multiple platforms. Pick the one that works for you. So if you came here to see this lovely, ever-growing afro, make sure you go over to my YouTube channel at Fit Fashow. And you can watch it there every single week. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss another episode. All right, now, if you prefer to listen to my wonderful library voice because it's soothing and it's amazing to listen to, go on over to my website at fitfashow.com, and there you can subscribe to the audio version of this particular vodcast. So listen to it anywhere, anytime that you feel comfortable. And last but not least, if you have family and friends who would benefit from the health discussions that we're having, just hit that share button, because the more people that we have involved in the conversations, the better it's going to be. Now, let's not belabor this any further. Let's just jump right in. I know you're probably thinking, what in the world does your hair have to do with your wellness journey? Well, here's the thing. Oftentimes, our bodies will give us very clear signals that things are amiss long before we get into what I call dis-ease. Okay, notice I didn't say disease. I'm talking about dis-ease, because some of us never get chronic illnesses, but we do have major problems as we grow old. In fact, people are living longer today. They have longer lifespans, but their health spans are degrading, which means that people tend to get sick when they get older and then live the rest of their lives in sort of this dis-ease or not in a really happy place. And I want to change that. So to do that, I'm going to tell you my story, my entire wellness story, my adventures in overcoming, and how it all started with my hair. You see, way back when I was in college, so let's take it all the way back, rewind 2002, 2003, somewhere in that time period. Back then, I did not have this glorious afro. I mean, I call it the little afro that could. We're working on it. I mean, we starting to get curls and it's starting to get a little bit lengthier. And I'm sure that if I would have picked it out before the episode, it'd be much bigger than what it is. But back in 2002, 2003, I had relaxed hair and I had the absolute worst amount of dandruff that you can think of. And, you'd go to the hairdresser or go to the doctor. They're like, oh, that's just, some people just got dry skin. Some people just have this. But I didn't realize it. That was my body's first warning that I wasn't paying attention to. And I want you to think about it this way. Your hair grows from where? All right. Is this just sitting on my head? Is this a wig? No, it's growing from inside of my body. The things that I put into my body are feeding the hair, and it transforms and affects the way that it looks. So if you're sitting there right now with dandruff, with any other type of skin ailments, pay close attention, all right? You may not be in dis-ease today, but this could be the very beginnings of problems in the future, all right? So 2002, 2003, I've got the hair issues going on. Then it progressed to more extensive skin issues. I had acne in high school, but it had kind of gone away. But now my skin, it went from flaking at the scalp to all the way down here. Even my eyebrows at this point had what quote unquote I call dandruff. So all of this would peel. And then back here behind this ear right here, all of this would peel as well. So much so to the point where at times my skin would actually bleed. So I did what a lot of people do. I went through all of my hair products. I started testing different things out and trying things. This was like years, okay, of trial and error, trying to figure out what hair product was irritating me and so forth. So we get through college. I'm continuing to have the hair issues. So finally, I decide upon graduation, I'm going to go see a dermatologist. It's time to figure out what is going on. Now, for those of us who are a little bit melanated, I want to tell you this. Our skin is different. And so it's very important to be able to see a dermatologist that kind of looks like you and understands your skin. And that's not to take away from all of the many amazing doctors that are out there. But at the end of the day, melanated skin is different. It performs differently. It needs different sets of products. So I look and I search all over the place. Couldn't find a black, brown, any type of minority dermatologist out there in my area. I was blown away by this, but I went to the one person who was available. I go to see her, very nice, wonderful doctor. But unfortunately, she took one look at my hair. She goes, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with you. You have dandruff. And she gave me like some medicated shampoo, sent me home, told me good luck. And she told me to wash my hair every day. Now, for the rest of you who have hair like this, a little bit on the drier side, like I have to put a ton of moisturizer in my hair, okay? When your hair is like this and you try to wash it every day, it's going to dry out your hair even further, which makes the dandruff even worse. So not only was the advice off, just completely off, but it was actually making things worse for me and leading to the fact that my hair is then going to start falling out and so forth. So after going through this failed attempt to see a doctor, being unable to pinpoint it, I finally just gave up. I said, well, maybe that's just my lot in life. And I bring that up because I think a lot of people do that. When we run up against brick walls, we adjust our standards for wellness. We just say, okay, well, this is just something that I have to live with rather than digging further, rather than digging deeper. Whenever you are experiencing any type of challenge, I challenge you, every single last one of you, do not just settle for living a life out of order. If something doesn't feel right for you, dig deeper. If I could get back into a time machine and go talk to 20-something Amber, I would say, wake up, girl. Get a book. Dig deeper, go see another doctor, go see someone else, keep digging until you figure it out. Because putting it off just allowed the issues to accumulate. So now I've got this hair issue, this skin issue, and it's progressively getting worse. A few years pass. Not long after that, I also noticed something else started happening. I started to pack on the pounds. I got out of college, I got my big girl job. And like many of you, got that big girl job and I was mingling with people, going to networking events, drinking, eating, and I put on more weight than I had ever been in my life. Prior to that, I was a soccer player. So I had been an athlete my whole life, never really weighed a lot. I'd always been in shape and fit. And here I am now. I've got the skin issues. I've got the hair issues. And now I'm at the heaviest weight of my life. But that didn't stop me. It didn't challenge me or push me to change anything at that moment. I still did not have my rock bottom moment yet. All right. So things are accumulating. We're progressing in time. We're going from 2002. And then finally, the moment of truth, the one thing that rocked me, that got me moving. I think the year is now we're almost like 2014, I think at this point. 2014, I'm doing spring cleaning one Saturday in my house. And I have a bag of trash, extremely heavy, but I take it down to the dumpster and I go to lift it. And as I go to lift it, I feel sort of like this muscle pulling in my neck. And initially it was just a little soreness, not a really big deal, but it pulled. And when it pulled, it was excruciating pain the next day. And again, going to the doctor's like, nothing wrong with you. We took the x-rays. You're perfectly fine. They send me off to physical therapy. And while I was in physical therapy, the lady notes, she says, if you would just get in the gym and lift weights, your muscles would be stronger and they would not be susceptible to injury. She said, basically, you have flexible joints and you don't have the corresponding muscle in place to help those joints. All right. You used to be an athlete and now you're not. So You don't have that same muscle mass that you used to have to. So all you have to do to fix this situation is start working out. I was like, oh, easy. No big deal. Took the little exercises. I actually, before I went to the gym, I'm a very introverted person, for those of you who don't know me. And I know that comes as a surprise because you see me on camera talking, but there's nobody in the room with me right now. I'm in here talking by myself. So I am an extremely introverted person. I didn't want to go to the gym. I bought my very first, I think, bench press, and I put it in the living room of my apartment, and I worked out there. And through it all, I did get better. I started to see changes in my body. I was excited, but I still didn't make any major changes at that point. I'm still having the skin issues, the hair issues, and so forth. But I am starting to recover from the excruciating pain that I had from the muscle strain in my neck. And that was good enough for me. It's like, hey, I'm living my life. I'm still, I'm not at 100%, but doing well enough, right? Isn't that good enough? And then here's what happened. I got a bill in the mail from the physical therapist, and I owed them almost $1,000, okay, after my insurance. And that was it for me. That was that moment when I decided, girl, you cannot afford to be ill. Like, if this is this expensive for just a muscle strain, what if you have something else down the road? Like, what if you end up with diabetes or high blood pressure or any one of these other major illnesses? What are you going to do? Moreover, it felt like serious robbery for someone to take that much money just to help me to get well. So I was like, no, we're not doing this. Not today. It's time to make a change. And so we went from that point on, and I really started working out a lot, and just seeing the changes happening in my body started to transform me. I went from just working out to changing the food. And then here's the thing. This is when things really started to change. Remember those skin issues that I told you all about earlier? They slowly but surely, they started going away. They started going away because they were tied to issues inside of my body. And because I was finally starting to take care of my body after all of these years, they started to clear up. How about that? And had I listened to my little afro from day one, we would not have been in that situation at all. But this would be a really good story if it ended there, right? Like, oh, she figured out the issue and then she made some changes and then boom, there it is. But unfortunately, we don't know what we don't know. And I never understood that meaning or that phrase until I hit this situation. Because yes, I did see some progress, and yes, I did see some changes, but I really needed to dig deeper than where I was at the moment. Because the things that I thought I knew about wellness were incomplete. If you go on the internet, you'll have this person telling you, you should be doing keto because keto is X, Y, and Z. Or this person like, no, you should be doing high protein because it's X, Y, and Z. Or no, you should be doing this. But not enough people are talking about treating yourself in such a way that you're paying attention to your body at the cellular level. When you make that decision to do keto or to do this, how are these things affecting you at the cellular level? Because again, my hair and my nails were telling me the story. So let's continue. Now we're at about year 2015. I've made the changes to my diet. I've made the changes to my workouts. I'm moving forward. I did a really bold thing that year. I decided to sign up for my very first bodybuilding competition because I figured if I have a milestone, something to really aim for, then I'll take this to the next level. But again, I'm not really quite sure what I'm doing. So I hire a coach and we get there. I get to the first show, finish dead last. I bet you thought this conversation was going a little different, but no, I finished dead last in that very first competition. But I kept going on because I said I cannot finish and have that be the thing, like Amber Fashow, dead last. No. So we kept going. And of course, with each competition, I got better and better. And for about 2 years, I did this. For 2 years, I was in excellent, amazing, and wonderful health. But that's where the story started to make a U-turn, a reverse. because I had never truly gotten down to the bottom of the issues with my hair and my nails and my skin. I slightly addressed them, and by losing the weight and getting healthy, it helped correct it a little bit, but it never brought me back to 100%. It just brought me, I would say, 95% of the way. But the minute that I quit bodybuilding, things went left. At the end of 2017, I stopped doing bodybuilding because I decided I wanted to go back to school to get another master's degree in exercise science and nutrition. I already had my master's in PR. Now I wanted to completely make this transformation because I was on my health kick and this was important to me. So I quit my job, went back to school, and then a bunch of little things happened in the process. My dad came home one day and he let me know that his cancer was back. He had been cancer-free for like 6-7 years at this point. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for watching him this way. And the stress of that took all of my symptoms and kicked them into high gear. The healthy eating went out the window. Everything went out the window. Everything just kind of stopped. And those little symptoms that I had before all of a sudden began to rage. They were out of control. All of a sudden, my fingernails, if you've noticed, I'm wearing like press-ons because I can't wear fingernail polish anymore without my fingernails being on fire. Around that time, my nails actually started to peel away and fall off, and I couldn't explain it. There was not a single doctor out there who understood what was happening to me. I did eventually find a black dermatologist. Y'all have no idea how hard that was. But I did find one. She took a look at my nails and she says, you have psoriasis of your nail bed. And basically the skin under my nails were shedding, and thus my nails would fall off. But I still didn't have an answer as to why my body was doing this. I didn't have that answer. All I knew is that it was doing this. And that is the way traditional medicine works. Traditional medicine diagnoses, but traditional medicine does not get to the core of what's causing it so that you can fix it. Instead, we continuously treat the symptoms, and this is what I've been doing all along. It's like, hey, we see you have skin issues, so let's change the way you're eating. But we haven't really figured out why your body in particular is doing the same thing. So if me and my mom and sisters are all eating the same things, why are these things just happening to me? That's what we have to figure out. That is the core of what's happening. So at that point, I was like, it's time to start digging even deeper to figure this particular issue out. So we've got the hair issues, the skin issues. At this point, I finally have like a mini afro, by the way. I know I skipped some time, but I have the afro now because I'm working out so much that I could no longer maintain relaxed hair. It was just too hard. And I meant, afros are beautiful anyways. This is the way it grows out of my body. So it only made perfect sense that we made the change. So took a little break in the story to tell you that. But anyways, we're digging deeper at this point, trying to figure out what's really causing this. So as I stated before, we've got the hair issues, the skin issues. I have the nails issues. So now from time to time when I eat certain things, my nails are peeling away. They're starting to fall. Some of them would fall off. Some of them would just get really loose where they would detach from the bed of my skin. And even when they were attached and they were good, they would still burn if I ever put anything on them. So if I put, fingernail polish on them, my fingernails would be on fire. I couldn't explain it. So now I can't get my nails done. I can't do cute things because all the things that I put on my skin irritated. And slowly but surely, I also became intolerant to literally everything. Whenever I would drink alcohol, straight to the bathroom. I'll spare you the details because it's pretty nasty. And I don't mean this way, coming out the other end. So I could no longer drink because of the bad reactions I was having to alcohol. Even something as simple as wine, bad reactions. Then anything that had gluten in it, I all of a sudden couldn't eat. Again, sending me straight to the bathroom. I also couldn't eat vegetables of all things. When I would eat vegetables, my body, it was almost like it was grinding. Like, Amber, please help me. help me. It is essentially what was happening. So I couldn't eat vegetables. I couldn't eat anything with gluten. My fingernails are coming off. Can't have alcohol. It was a very miserable time in my life. I did not look forward to eating because there was nothing I actually could eat. There were like a handful of things that I could eat. About the only thing that I could eat without issue was steak. And I know some of you are watching this now. Well, isn't that a good thing to have? I mean, it is, but when you don't have variety in your diet, it makes you sicker. So now I'm at a point where these issues are multiplying. They're one on top of the other. Then there goes my sleep. So I can't sleep at night. I have serious insomnia, the fingernails, the nails, the digestive issues, you name it, one on top of the other on top of the other. But every single time I would go to the doctor during that time span, that year, which I believe were 2017 going to 2018, I went to not one doctor, not two doctors, not three doctors. I went to 4 different doctors who ran my labs, and every single last one of them looked at me and said, "You are the perfect picture of health. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you." So at this point, I'm being made to believe that I am crazy, that somehow these physical appearances on my skin of the shedding and the dryness and the bleeding and all of that somehow is a figment of my imagination. And the only one who sort of acknowledged that there was something going on with me was my dermatologist. And she told me about the only thing I can tell you to do is to not eat gluten, because sometimes gluten is inflammatory. And that one little clue was exactly what I needed to get started. So after that entire experience, I just started to read book after book after book, because I realized that getting well was going to be completely dependent on me. If you're watching this right now and you're having trouble navigating the system, sometimes you have to take the issue by the reins and navigate it yourself. You have to be strong enough to say, this is on me. I can't wait for somebody else to make me well. I can't depend on someone else to do the job. It is dependent on me. And that was the decision that I made way back then. I started reading, I started looking, and then finally I came across a service called Functional Medicine. If you've never heard of it, I strongly advise you write it down right now. Functional Medicine. These are real MDs, but these doctors use a different paradigm for wellness. So instead of just taking your labs and saying you're normal, they're looking at, here are all of the symptoms, sort of like the branches of a tree that we're looking at. But these things don't just happen. You're not born this way. So let's take a deeper dive to figure out what is actually causing you to have dry skin. So we're not just going to give you an ointment to put on your skin. We want to figure out, why is it that you have dry skin? There's a reason why you have a dry skin. And if we can figure out the reason, then we can help you delete the issue. Or if not delete the issue, at least improve it much further than just giving you ointment. And that was the first time somebody finally diagnosed me with histamine intolerance. If I go to a regular doctor right now, they're going to tell you histamine intolerance does not exist. But these doctors were confident that this is what I had. So I followed the elimination diet. I took those things out of my diet that were high in histamine. I took all of the gluten out of my diet. And guess what, y'all? The same thing that happened when I started bodybuilding happened again. The skin cleared itself up. The nails cleared itself up. All of a sudden, just from changing my diet, it all cleared itself up. Because what I didn't know was that I was not only was I histamine intolerant, but I actually was gluten intolerant. And gluten is a major inflammatory, not just for people who are intolerant, but for all people. And gluten intolerance has been on the rise significantly over the years, and it's been unexplained. But the thing is that our harvesting practices, the food that we eat, is not the same as it was many years ago. Many of them have much higher content of gluten than ever before. And so you have a whole generation of people who are in an inflammatory state and don't even realize it. So I hope that my telling you my story encourages you to sort of go deeper, to dig deeper, to learn more about it. And I won't go into extensive detail about the entire journey right here because I've actually already made, I think, like 3 videos on this that are already on my YouTube channel. So if you're watching on YouTube, I will link them above so you can take the really big and deep dive, because I have run across a few other people who are experiencing these same challenges, and then they listen to the story and they're like, oh my goodness, that's me as well. I'm like, I'm so happy I could help you now. I'm not a doctor, but what I will do is point you in the right direction and say, find yourself a functional medicine practitioner. Now, unfortunately, functional medicine is crazy expensive because our insurance industry has not yet recognized it as a viable solution for many of the ailments that we have. We're sitting with this broken system, and I hope by keeping up this steady drumbeat of podcasts, vodcasts, letters, people putting this out there, we will get more certified functional doctors out there. There should be, more than just 2 of them in my town. But it has had a significant impact on my life. And I'm not done yet. I'm actually still in a program right now, and I hope that one day I'll be able to get my nails done again, that I won't have to rely on press-ons. But for now, this is what I do. I mean, my nails don't shed the way that they used to, but they are still incredibly sensitive to nail polish. So for that reason, I'll just stick with my press-on, although these aren't that bad. I'm looking at them, I'm like, I'm complaining about it, but, these aren't that bad. And then I also hope that as I go through this journey, my afro will be glorious, that it'll be large, that it'll be so large by season 2 that you see this whole space around my head on the podcast. This should all be hair next time we talk. All right. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to the very first episode of Fit Fashow. My whole purpose today was to really tell you about my wellness journey, to help you overcome some of those barriers and challenges, and to let you know that wellness is ever changing. It's always moving. If you ever find that you're at the end, it means you're dead. Okay, so it never stops. It's not something that we're going to do from like January to February, which is the way we often look at wellness. We go, oh, I just need to get in this dress. So from, January to March, I'm just going to do my little diet, and then I'm going to get in this dress, and that's going to be the end of it. And I want you to know that is not what wellness is. That's cosmetic. It's not wellness. Wellness is being able to wake up every day and to live your life the way you want to, because your body is able, because your body is allowing you to do the things that you intend for it to do. I want to sit at the table with my family and friends and eat the things that bring me joy, because I can. And this is how I am resolving that solution. So, in closing, thank you for joining me. Make sure that you like and share this content, and be aware that in future episodes, I am going to talk in more detail about functional nutrition and functional medicine, the different kinds of labs and things that I've been doing to help me with that. Again, if you don't want to wait for those episodes to come out, I do have several videos already posted on my YouTube channel before I ever had the podcast. You might want to go over there and check those out. And last but not least, before we leave today, y'all, we got to give her a wonderful name. What should I call my afro? Because I'm telling y'all, we're going to track her progress from episode to episode. Because the goal is, by season 2, again, we want to fill out the screen. So I know that growing out this afro is incumbent on me living the right lifestyle, eating the right foods. All of that has an effect on my ability to grow it. So what should I call her? Drop your comments below and let me know what should be her name. Anyways, thank you all. I look forward to seeing you on next week's episode.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can find us on the website at fitfashow.com, on Facebook and Instagram at Fit Fashow. We'll see you next time. Stay focused.